are live. Thank you very much for everyone watching us live and everyone watching us back as recording. We appreciate you as well.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Tonight, we're joined by Laurie McCauley. She is the cousin of Tena Mashell Preast, missing since August 4th, 1991, from Lawton, Oklahoma. Laurie, welcome to Locating the Lost. Uh-oh, she's muted.
Oh.
What happened?
Not sure.
Laurie, did you hit the mute button maybe on your mic?
Is that better?
Yes.
There we go.
Oh my!
Weird.
Must have ghosted here. But thank you for having me and telling Tina's story.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about her and her childhood?
Yes, Tina was born in 1972 to a pretty normal family. We migrated from California. Tina was a kind of a tomboy, and she was given up for adoption at the early age, pretty young. So I don't know the exact age. I was quite young myself, and Tina loves sports, and she was given up for adoption though at a young age, and then she came back into our lives at approximately age 11.
Okay, and like I say, that picture of her on the left is super cute, like perfect little smile. She looks adorable.
Yes, that's Tina, and very noticeable dimple.
What were some of her hobbies that she had growing up?
Loved softball, sports in general, basketball. She was great at. Visiting with her family. She was really big on my grandmother's spaghetti that we all grew up on. Real
Nice.
soft-spoken. Mm-hmm.
And she liked hairstyles and stuff, I guess, huh?
Oh yeah, as we aged, we tried the old Aquanet out. Yeah,
What year was she born? Do you know, Laurie?
1972.
Okay, so I was born in 74, and she looked a lot like the kids in my school. You know, the teenage
Yes.
years. They love the Aquanet. But yeah, pretty smile.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love the ocean.
So what did she do after school? Did she go away to college or anything, or what did she do?
After school, well, during school, her mother relocated her. She was living with my Aunt Linda and doing great in school. And her mother had decided to relocate to Missouri and a few other places. She kind of moved around, and she followed along with her mother because she wasn't of age yet. And then afterwards, we just waited for Tina to turn 18 to move her out of the house. I say me. There I go with my ums. I apologize for that.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I do the same thing. That's why we started doing these lives, because I don't bother editing it afterwards. When Jeff and I used to do pre-record stuff, I spent half the time editing out the ums.
We're losing a 30 minutes of video just from the ums.
Exactly.
Now we leave it in.
So really, and I know that first pitch I showed, she had blonde hair. By the time of her disappearance, her hair was darker, right?
It was dyed black when she went missing. Mm-hmm.
And then the image
Her natural color is very, her natural hair color is a very dark, almost black, but not quite, like a really deep brown.
Okay. The image on the right is a tattoo that's on just below her left shoulder, I think, right? On her arm.
Correct.
It's a little blurry, but it says, "Have a nice day." It's a smiley face with looks like a bullet hole in the center with blood dripping down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. That was kind of a mistake. We got tattoos together, and that's only in the first and last time that I was involved. But we woke up with those. That was back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. No regrets. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you can tell us a little bit, start telling us about the disappearance and what happened. The days leading up to it. Actually, well, first of all, she was married at the time when she disappeared, right?
Yes, she was married to a soldier who was away to war at the time. They were distant, and it was a short-lived marriage. Illegally, I guess, but they would still be married. I don't know how that works, but yeah, they had been together too long when he went away.
And she was only 19 when she disappeared, so clearly she, it wasn't like a 10-year marriage by any means. It was more like a few months, right? Like 8 months, maybe?
Yeah, more like that.
Okay. So he's away overseas. She's home. Can you tell us kind of what her living arrangements were and what was going on in her life at that point?
Yes, the property that she lived at, her mother and stepfather owned, and that was on that Northwest 17. I'm trying not to say the entire address, but that was in Lawton, and she actually rented the house downstairs, and her mother and stepfather stayed in the upstairs apartment behind, kind of over a garage apartment. So that was her living arrangement, along with she had started dating a Troy Russell, and he moved in with her along with one of his friends.
And how old was Troy?
A couple of years older than Tina. Tina was 19 when she was abducted, and so I'd say 21 maybe.
And then you said one of his friends, was he a male as well?
Yes, went by the nickname Ringo, and I was told by Detective Donald Pauly that he is deceased now.
And he was around the same age as them as well, or around 21?
Yeah, from what I understand. Not too familiar with those two. Tina and I lived together, and then I moved on away from Lawton. As a matter of fact, I was only gone for a day before I got the phone call that something had happened. She disappeared.
Wow.
So you just recently moved out then?
24 hours, drive to the East Coast, and I got the call. We didn't have cell phones back then, and I turned around and came back.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. So what do we know about the day that she went missing?
I believe the August 4th of 1991 fell on a Sunday, and that would have been a busy weekend for Tina at her place of employment, because the military, getting paid on the 1st, and it would have fell on that first weekend after the 1st. And Tina danced down at a local strip club called the Deluxe Lounge. She was saving money. We intended to go to college and get educations, and she just didn't want to leave at that point when I left. But I was told originally that she went to the door after the boyfriend answered the door to an older white or Caucasian male that spoke Tina's dog's name, and she went out the front door, and then he went back inside. Troy Russell, the boyfriend, went back inside or shut the door, and that was it. She was gone, and he went out 20 minutes later. She was gone. Never heard a thing.
So he's the one that answered the door. I thought so. That's good, because I'm glad you're on here to explain this, because online it sounds like she answered the door and he just heard a male voice saying the dog's name. So it's someone that knew the dog, obviously knew her. She was...
Supposedly.
He said it was an older white man. Did he say like how old?
At the time, because he mentioned a name that he thought that it was, and it was Asa Barlow. I can say that because that's been brought up before. And they took him out for a lineup and he could not identify this man in a lineup. And so approximately we were 19, 20. I was 20 and she was 19. So he would have been 40 something around then.
All right. So he thought he saw a 40-year-old man out there, a white man, knew the dog's name. She went outside, talked to him. He didn't hear any like arguing or any conversation at all.
Not at all, he states. But he's never been in contact with our family. He has been in contact, from what Detective Donald Pauly of Lawton Police Department states, that Mr. Russell has been in contact with him. And I had those questions myself because those doors, the door is only about a 4-foot wide or long porch. And there's 2 big windows that overlook that porch. The windows were thin, and that was difficult to understand, still is.
So did he see where they went outside? Did he see anything, or was that the last that he saw of her ever, is just, or heard from her, is when she closed the door, or when he closed the door?
When he closed the door. He claims to have seen nothing else.
Did he see any sort of vehicle that the man showed up in or anything?
Not to my knowledge. And the windows, and there's also like a bay window in the very front that would have faced where this person or persons would have parked. More than likely, if it would have,
Did he say what he was doing at the time? When, like, was he so caught up in a TV show or something that he couldn't pay attention to his girlfriend? Talk to some random dude? Like, I don't know. To me, it seems weird that you're going to be living with a girl and you're okay with her just walking outside and talking to another dude. I would probably be jealous and kind of peeking in the window or something, right?
Yeah, and he had jealous tendencies. This has been reported by a previous girlfriend, but also by one of Tina's friends, Kimberly, that she experienced some violent behavior that I wasn't aware of. So I couldn't have seen that. Those are questions I have that I wish I could get answered, and I've requested to speak with him. He's been nowhere around, and it's definitely a big question. It stumped the case with all this misinformation. I didn't have a chance. But no, nothing.
Did anyone ever come forward to say, yes, I was the guy that went to the door that night?
No one, with the exception. Well, we can get into that in a little bit, I guess, because no one admitted to going to that house other than a couple of reports from other people.
Okay. All right. So how long after he went outside did he report her missing? Like within minutes did he call the cops, or did he just go to bed?
He went outside within 20 minutes. He reported it to the mother, Patsy, and Tina's mother, and to Archie Orstomovsky, the stepfather, upstairs in that garage apartment. For what I understand, within a couple of hours, he was panicking. Within a couple of hours, quite early to panic. I mean, to that extent.
Yeah, but if she left,
Because there were
nothing.
Right,
She
I'm
didn't
sorry.
have it. I think she left with nothing. So I'm thinking that, yeah, I'd start panicking too if my girlfriend walked outside, then all of a sudden didn't come back in. She's with some dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would too. There's just so much. There's so much information that could be that's confused this whole case. So much misinformation.
Did she have anything on her person other than just what she was wearing? Did she have like a purse with her? Anything like that?
Not to my knowledge, and the authorities have not been able to find anything that she would have taken. And she was a heavy smoker, didn't take her cigarettes to even have a conversation, and had a bath full of water that had been ran when they showed up, the police, to investigate it, and a burrito in the microwave.
Okay. It was very, very unexpected. Whatever happened to her, she wasn't planning on anyone stopping by, or at least not for very long, right?
Right.
So were there any reports after this of anyone claiming to have seen her?
Yeah, not claiming to have seen Tina. Only claiming to had known what happened. So that was Asa Barlow, and that is the father, or I'm sorry, the stepfather of a ex-boyfriend of Tina's that she dated for only a couple of months when she was with her mother in another town. And she had met this boy anyway. He was throwing bricks at the house and threatening her, but I didn't know about all of the threats and things like that. And that comes along in the restraining order. That comes along later, but but we had located that. I located that about a year ago. It was, I guess, overlooked in Comanche County due to a misspelling of the mother's last name. I don't know how, but it was.
But you would have thought they could have looked up under his name.
And that's exactly what I don't understand the part, especially when it says what it said in her own handwriting.
What does it say?
It says that Brian Wilkerson, the boy she dated, threatened to dismember her body, kill her entire family, dismember her body. And he spoke of how he was the chosen one and satanic type talk, named a second party also. But I can't make that out, and I've tried to get assistance with making that out, the second name. I mean, there's quite a bit of just horrible threats in there. And the only knowledge that I ever had of Tina... go ahead.
Oh, and that it came from that young man's stepfather. That testimony says that his stepson made those comments.
No, that came from Tina's own handwriting on a restraining order form.
Oh, okay.
That was
my mistake.
She was speaking of the ex-boyfriend Brian Smith. I'm sorry,
Okay.
not Brian Smith. Oh, sorry, Brian Wilkerson, Asa Barlow's stepson.
Yeah, so she has a restraining order against the ex-boyfriend. He says all these gruesome things about dismembering her and everything, killing her, dismembering her. And then the current boyfriend thinks that he sees that kid's stepfather come knock on the door. So could that have been like a setup? You know, did the stepfather get her outside, then the ex-boyfriend show up and take her, and he assisted with that, or what? Like, bizarre.
But then then that Asa Barlow claims that he knew it happened, right? Allegedly.
Yes, later on when he was serving time. But I want to address what you just said, because it would be completely out of character for Tina to if she went off that porch and got in with anyone to a vehicle, she grew up with some sexual abuse at the hands of her own father and biological father. And she was very aware of her surroundings. She was a survivor. She wouldn't have gotten into a vehicle without knowing that person. Now, forced into the vehicle, a whole different story. But one thing that I wanted to say before we got on to that was that it would be difficult for me to believe that Mr. Asa Barlow went to the front door, and Tina even had communication with him because she was afraid she was in fear. And she stated that at work before I knew about the restraining order. She had stated, "Oh my God, there is the stepfather of my ex-boyfriend, the one that threatened to kill me." And I didn't know anything about all of this other business because I hadn't picked her up until she was 18. So she was definitely afraid of Asa Barlow. So,
Besides
that's
him being
a
the
strange.
stepfather, was there any sort of relationship with him as well, or no?
Between Tina and Asa Barlow?
Right.
No. No.
Did anyone
Not at
report
all.
hearing anything like in the neighborhood, any dogs barking or anything weird happened at the time, or?
No, but not that day. Previously, the night before, so that would have been August 3rd, and that would have been Saturday night, and that would have been the night, the big night of the month that dancers, were out pretty late. The mother, Patsy Namofsky, Tina's biological mother, reported hearing the sound of what she thought were cats mating or fighting, and that was the gist of hearing anything from anyone.
All right. So I'm not sure where you want to go with the story here at this point. At this point, she's disappeared. Her live-in boyfriend contacted the police or contacted family members, and then they reported her missing.
Yes. Yes,
How
that's
soon
correct.
after-
Now, I will say, mhm.
How soon after she disappeared
just
was she
gonna-
reported missing?
I've been told it could have been a couple of days, which that the timeline doesn't make any sense, and I'll tell you why. Because I left, and the day that I left, I pulled up in my U-Haul, and I went up to the door to, as I was living in a different residence, and I pulled up at the front door, and it was her mother, Patsy, and her stepfather, Orst Namofsky, aka Archie. And they were in the front yard to tell me goodbye. And I walked to go tell Tina, knock on her door and tell her goodbye. And, I'll call you when I get there, whatever. And they stopped me and said, well, Patsy said, don't wake her up, please. She works late and I don't want to put up with her being angry, whenever you wake her up. And I was my hands on the door handle, and things would have went way different. I believe myself that something happened on August 3rd.
The night before.
Yes, I firmly believe that.
And why do you believe that?
I was going to ask that if anyone else, when the last time anyone other than her boyfriend claims to have seen her.
Yeah.
Her best friend Sandy. It had been a couple of days since she had seen Tina, and she's been very involved in the search for Tina. A couple of days that I know of, other than the day that I left, and like I said, 24 hours. It was about by the time I stopped and everything, it was about a 48-hour difference, and that was that would have been early. I believe it would have been early August 3rd, midday or early in the morning, before noon sometime, somewhere along those lines. We left out pretty early. I think it was before noon on August 3rd, Saturday of 91. So other than that, the stepfather had taken her shopping, which was out of character. So
Her stepfather?
Yes.
The Archie.
Yes.
And so that wasn't something he typically did. Where did they go shopping?
Supposedly Kmart, and in that area of Walmart, Kmart area in Lawton, off of Cash Road.
Does he remember what she purchased, and were those items still at the apartment or the home?
There were items reported from Patsy, the mother, and the stepfather that were still in the bags. and they were still all in the bags. They had the tags on them, that wouldn't have been unusual for Tina not to put her clothes up right away, because she was kind of a procrastinator when it came to things like that. But the shopping incident, yes, because the stepfather of Tina, Archie, or Mr. Namofsky, their relationship was very bad. And so that it's just another piece of the puzzle that doesn't make sense. Why she would, I don't think she would even gotten in a vehicle with him. I don't understand it.
It's weird.
So the place that they were staying at was rented from her husband, who's deploys family, right? Is that what I heard?
Now, the place where she was living actually belonged to her stepfather and her mother.
Oh, it was theirs. I thought that was her. Okay, disregard that.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird when someone goes missing. All this weird, like, moments happen. I feel like, now you're talking about stepfather who really had nothing. I don't think a lot to do with her, but definitely not to go take her shopping. Takes her shopping the day before she goes missing.
Exactly.
That's a little odd. And then
yes,
for the boyfriend to not really know who the ex-boyfriend's stepdad is, but says he thinks that's who it was. That's also
and then
weird.
Also,
but then
she went outside to talk to a strange man, and he doesn't go investigate that even a little bit.
Right. And another thing, the Asa Barlow name came into play. When he went to report to Tina's mother and stepfather that, hey, Tina's missing, she went out and, on the porch, and she's not anywhere. She left. Patsy, the mother, my aunt, biological, she stated that she told Troy Russell, the boyfriend, that it had to be Asa Barlow. That's the only one that would fit the description, and the only one that would have motive to do anything to Tina. And that's he wasn't able to pick him up in a lineup, pick him out. He said he wasn't tall enough, or.
So, do the police think that the boyfriend is a person of interest, or the ex-boyfriend?
From what I'm being told from Polly, Detective Donald Polly, that Troy, now everyone is still out on the table, is what he said. No one's, pretty much everyone's still suspect because it's an open and active investigation. However, that he does not feel like Troy Russell was involved.
All right, and then.
But there's also pieces, Mm-hmm.
If you have tips, please contact the Lawton Police Department at 580-581-3270. So what do you think has happened here? You said that you think that she was gone the day before, which means the boyfriend would have to be somehow involved.
Yeah, potentially the boyfriend or the parents and stepfather.
But the boyfriend would have to make up the lie about some guy come to the front door.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And the roommate of that boy, of Troy Russell, that went by the name of Ringo, that is now deceased, he would have had to have lied. They both would have had to be lying. No, not everyone can be lying. And this goes further on to where Asa Barlow comes more into it with some a report from his own wife. And so that's where it gets more confusing.
So let's get into that then. What is the report from his wife?
Okay, so Miss Barlow, she worked for the Lawton Constitution newspaper, and a very prominent young woman, a lady, mid-age, and she contacted early on the Lawton Police Department with a statement stating that she came home early from work and one day, and this is right after Tina went missing, or the day that on the 4th that Tina went missing or reported missing, and Mr. Barlow was placing bloody clothing into the washing machine.
Did she ask him what happened?
No, he did. The only thing that I got out of that, because there are so many things that they don't even tell family members, that she firmly believed that he was responsible.
His own wife felt that way.
Yes.
Are they still married? Do you know?
From my understanding, no, they are not.
I would hope not. If you think that your husband could be a murderer.
Yes.
I do have a question here, or statement. Karen Clapper says, maybe they need to review evidence again. Something's not making sense. There's too many.
I agree.
There's too many one-offs going on with this story.
Yes. It was admitted to me, Detective Donald Pauly, he admitted that they made mistakes early on, because I think it's like profiling someone is the way he put it. It is her lifestyle, and they thought she had just left, maybe partying, she left on her own, and that went on. Honestly, was reported on the papers or whatever that she was down as like a runaway, and when she was 19, left on her own for a few years. So a lot of this case was not even, they didn't try to find her.
Yeah, because this was
I'm not saying we have any good detectives. Yes. I'm not, we've had some really good detectives invested, but they didn't look for her.
And we run into that a lot with the stuff that we talk about here. People whose lifestyles are not like ideal or not as perfect as other people's, and when they go missing, their cases don't get the same sort of attention that's deserved.
Like Nancy Guthrie. That's all over
there you
the
go. Well, yeah, I'm not hating. I anyone that can help anyone that's missing with anything, I'm all for it, because there's not enough resources.
So
for anyone
with the older gentleman that supposedly came to the door, I'm also thinking if she was a dancer, maybe this guy thinks he has some sort of relationship with her because he's tipping her a lot of money, and
I was wondering that too. Yeah,
had come to her house before and had met the dog or whatever. So there's that potential as well. What do you think, and you and the family think, happened?
Part of my family thinks that it would be Tina's stepfather, that he was involved, and that possibly Tina's mother did not have knowledge of it. That whatever happened when he took her shopping happened, and then there's part that think that she did know. And then there's also,
before you move on, why do you think he was involved, or why does everyone think he was involved? What is there for evidence?
Not just for the shopping trip, but because before Tina turned 18 years old, he was sexually, I don't know if there was actual rape involved. There was definitely, it was bad to the point where he would go in her room and he was very inappropriate. I can't say I wasn't there, just from other family members. I know it was bad enough that she was waiting till that day that she turned 18, and I even took her at 17, and they called the police, and I had to return her because I was afraid that he was going to rape her or continue to, or whatever was going on. I just knew that if she spoke, yeah.
So if he took her shopping and didn't return with her, what would be the gain for the two roommates to lie and say that someone knocked on the door? Because they must have known
I don't know that.
Right?
From what I understand, yes. I mean, they had to have known him to pay. Well, they didn't pay the rent. Tina did, but I don't know. That's the complicating part of the confusion is I don't know why that would make three people lie, and it's very hard to hold a lie with multiple people.
Unless there's some sort of leverage there, right? Like if they had done something as well, or he was holding something over them. I can't imagine rent money would be enough to do that, but maybe something more severe.
But if they hadn't been living there long, maybe they didn't even know who he was. You know, he could have had a hat down over his face or whatever, but you would think after the fact that the roommate would know who he was.
No, he would know who he was. He would know because they had seen each other. I mean, now the stepfather of Tina, Archie, had went away to war also, but at a different time than the husband, legal husband of Tina. But he was gone for a period of time and hadn't been back very long before Tina went missing. But I don't know how three people could hold that lie. And what leverage? I do know that he used to be, and this is a public record, he was into drugs and forced into going into the military. Tina wasn't into drugs, but she did try it, and she didn't like it. It made her sick. And so I don't know if something went wrong.
Did they use drugs, her two roommates?
From what I understood, yes.
I guess that could be leverage.
That would be. I don't know. I think it would have something a bit more than either drugs or just a regular financial to either become an accomplice to it or.
Unless something went wrong.
Yeah,
unless something went wrong beside drugs. Yes, it was reported to me by his ex-girlfriend and by Kimberly, a girl that was staying in the house at the time but not there that day, supposedly that he had a gun and that he had pulled it on Tina and Kimberly at one point. Mr. Russell, speaking of Mr. Russell, the boyfriend.
Yeah, I was asking if the stepfather owned guns, though. I mean, you say he's ex-military, so a good chance.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I couldn't confirm that, but
it's a really convoluted story. It just doesn't make sense to have, and which is part of the reason why it's probably unsolved.
Exactly. And then to add to the stack, the Kimberly person that I'm speaking of didn't report that she was even staying with Tina, and I had no knowledge of it. It has been confirmed by Sandy, Tina's friend, that Kimberly was staying with Tina, but was gone that day or for so many hours. That she said that Tina wasn't taken by Asa Barlow, but that it was by a lady named Gypsy. That was her street name, and an older white male. His name, I don't know. So there's another story from the same household.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, why do you think someone would want to hurt her?
I don't understand. I don't even understand the reasoning behind a restraining order and the violent behavior behind that. Now, the only thing I could see is maybe everyone was partying. Maybe she tried drugs again or something happened and they didn't know what to do. But it's really hard for them to carry, a large group of people or even a couple to not tell someone, for 34 years, 6 months.
It happens. That's weird too. Like that is a thought. If some reason the stepfather had a change of heart and decided to go out and buy her clothes or whatever, take her shopping, he drops her back off at home and something happens that night, that would explain why the roommate made up the story about someone knocking on the door.
Yeah. Or he partakes in it because he was into drugs previously, to the military, or he partakes, and then that would include all of them.
I don't know how the part where the person knows the dog's name fits in. So I feel like if he was making that up, that'd be a weird thing to make up, unless the cops asked him, how did the dog react to something? And then he said, oh, well, he knew the dog's name. If he was just making that up, that seems like a weird thing to make up.
It does. I've ran it through my mind. And there's not very many people that would have known her dog's name, by the way, because Tina wasn't a social butterfly. She was one that she went to work, she came home, and she did know people. And even though she was an exotic dancer, she hadn't been doing it for very long, and she still kept to herself. She did have her friend, and Kimberly was also her friend, but she didn't go out. She went to the mountains, once in a while, or if it was us. And then I had just recently, so her whole world had changed a bit. And so knowing her everyday behavior, I started to lose touch with that because, of me moving on. And we had that last conversation, and she didn't want to leave the club. She wanted to make more money so she could get an education. So, yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's a very confusing story. If you look for more information on Tina's case, please visit oklahomacoldcases.org. I put the link in the comments section as well. Is there what can we do, and what can the viewers do to help? Obviously share her story, right? Share the posters. Mm-hmm. You don't have a Facebook page anymore, you had mentioned. Why do you not have a Facebook page anymore?
I was contacted, and one of the reasons was I started getting, they tried to extort money from me, stating that Tina was alive and with them, and they were in Statesville, North Carolina, and that if I paid them through Bitcoin, and I reported all that. And this was, I know we're hearing a lot about that now, but it really happens. It was like $2,000. Told them I couldn't do it. There's some other information involved, but I actually went to Walmart. It was devastating even after that long. And then getting things sent to me, like burning skulls and just some death threats. There was a lot going on. It wasn't productive to have that at the time, because we have oklahomacoldcases.org that Amanda Davis, Newland Davis has, that, people can report to, and then Crime Stoppers and Detective Donald Pauly. I wish I could do something like that, but it literally was putting my life in danger. Someone wants me to be quiet.
Once again, if you have any tips, please contact the Lawton, Oklahoma Police Department at 580-581-3270. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish tonight? Or is there anything we missed?
Yeah, I want to make. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware of this, but on Fort Sill Boulevard, there were 4 nightclubs up against each other, and there was another dancer, Barbara Berry, and we knew her. We knew Barbara Berry.
I apologize.
Yes, and Amanda Davis knows a lot more about that, but she was found later murdered and in a crate box of some sort. And some of our other friends that we knew, they were also found murdered or not found at all. And it's very difficult for me to believe that, it didn't have some kind of, there wasn't some kind of the coincidences are just too canny. I mean, they're just too many. She actually worked with Tina in the same nightclub. Barbara Berry did.
How long, around what time did that happen compared to Tina going missing?
Tina went missing in 1991, and I believe Barbara Berry, gosh, I hope we get this right, went missing, I want to say 1993 or so, or 2 or 3, and then I believe they located her in 94 maybe.
Yeah.
But there were so many more. And then I do want to make the statement that Mr. Barlow, Asa Barlow, where he comes into it, I spoke to his own stepchildren, and Kenneth Wilkerson stated on Messenger to me, a long conversation, that Mr. Barlow had taken them into strip clubs to use them to lure women, for him to, not for them to. They were younger and cute, is what he said, and they would get the women to be interested. And Kenneth Wilkerson brought up that the stepfather, Asa Barlow, was in contact with one young lady that he never seen again once they had started the conversation and this and that in the club, and then he had left or whatever. He never seen her again. I asked him her name, tried to figure out who she was, whatever, but that he definitely had access to this working environment and many of these girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay,
So she was found November 26, 1994, and they believe she's connected with the Lawton serial killer, right? So who's to say that this dude isn't the serial killer?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Exactly. And I have reached out to him. I've reached out to all of them to get a response. Now, Detective Donald Pauly with the Lawton Police Department went to, I want to say it was Fort Knox, where he was doing his time. Mr. Barlow was serving time for sexual assaults on a fellow officer, and spoke with Mr. Barlow. Now, Mr. Barlow stated, "I know who is responsible for Tina's disappearance, aka murder," and told Donald Pauly, Detective Donald Pauly, that he was in Asa Barlow was in a restaurant, and one of his fellow soldiers came up to him, or was sitting there or whatever, and stated that he and another man within the military took Tina to a farmhouse and shot her execution style. And then the detectives went on to, get more information. And when the question started for Mr. Barlow, he lawyered up.
That makes no sense. So the stepfather of an ex-boyfriend of hers happens to be in this restaurant. Some random dude comes up and says, "Oh yeah, me and my buddy killed her.
We shot her execution." Like,
yes.
What?
They asked him. Yeah, Detective Pauly asked Mr. Barlow the man's name, any identifying information, and he was unable to provide that. Said, "I don't know. I have no clue who it was."
How do you not remember what they look like? Someone comes up to you and
yeah, that happens all the time at restaurants.
Right. Okay, it kind of sounds like he was trying to cough up some fake story in hopes that he'd get some time off or something. Maybe realized that it was a stupid idea and got a lawyer.
Did he give an address for this farmhouse or anything?
Yes, there was an address given. I don't know if it was by him or by Miss Barlow. No, Miss Barlow. I hate to bring her name out there, even though it's been brought up, because she's elderly now. But there was a search done on that property, and they came up with nothing. However, here in the last few years, it has came to our attention that original house and property that they went to was the wrong house. It was the wrong property.
Of course it was.
So they redone a new search in the last 3 years, and they brought in different dogs and things like that. And they had an inconclusive results on the new property, the correct property. And that is where the information as far as what was found and the extent of everything is something I can't state. However, it has not been confirmed that it is Tena.
So they've not done testing on
I don't think that. Well, from what I'm understanding, per conversation with Detective Polly, is that there was inconclusive results, and it's an open and active investigation, and only so much can be discussed. But that
Jeff,
they were.
Sorry, Jeff. Did you see the name of that person that just put that comment? Or did they delete it? I thought you might have deleted it. Oh,
I deleted it.
Okay, it's right there. Amaru delivers. Amaru, AMARU. Yeah, I made some weird comments. So
no, we got rid of that.
Do you keep those?
Once we delete them, they're gone. But I know what they said,
Okay.
so I can tell you afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, because I did send out an invite, or I made, I don't know if it was the correct address or whatever. And I sent it out to Mr. Barlow and tried to make it obvious that this was going to take place if anyone had anything to say, just in case. Back then, in 1991, we didn't have the things that we have now. We didn't have cell phones or this or that. We also, there's more understanding in these things. I can also tell you that I've thought about this. I mean, I've had 34 years, 6 months of thinking about this, and maybe someone was present and they have knowledge and they were in fear for their own safety. Now, to what extent, don't know, but anonymity is guaranteed with Crime Stoppers, with the p3tips.com. And it is, anonymity is guaranteed. It's never too late. Never too late.
Thing is, if they saw something, or even if they helped, like, unfortunately dispose of her body or anything, the statute of limitations are passed for that. So the only thing is, at this point, would be if you're actually involved with the murder, if you murdered her. So if you saw something, were a part of something, and you witnessed something, like, you can come forward and you're not going to be nailed for it.
And even if you were involved, like, it's still the right thing to fucking do, especially after all this time.
Or if you were involved, just lie and say you weren't and say you saw it.
There you go. That is our collective objective, is alongside so many other people that have really poured their heart and souls into just bringing Tena home, or just locating Tena. Because all you do when you call that P3 Tips, or you go in on p3tips.com, or call the 1-800-222-TIPS line, is they give you a code. They don't track your IP address or anything, phone number, nothing. They give you a code. You're anonymous, and you can bring our family the miracle that we've prayed for almost 35 years.
And it's, I'm probably getting desensitized to these cases because we've been doing this for a while now. But you got to remember, she was 19 years old. She didn't have a chance to have a life. She didn't get a chance to, have a family or have her family enjoy her. Did she have any children?
No.
She did not, right? Okay.
Yeah, there was a rumor that she may have been pregnant at the time of her disappearance, but that was a rumor. I don't know. I didn't know about it.
That's not motive,
Well,
could the stepfather be involved,
But I will tell you that as soon as Tena went missing, it wasn't but months and her stepfather, Mr. Namofsky, left the military, and then he and Tina's mother moved to California, away from the house. And I purchased the home with my then husband, and in hopes that Tina would come home, or we would find something out. And I'm not blaming my aunt. I'm just stating facts that it was odd because her stepfather always planned on retiring from the military. So,
That's weird.
But then you also have Asa Barlow's, statements, and so yeah, it's a very confusing case. What I think is someone needs to make that phone call or go to p3tips.com and Tina's case number, or just state her name on there, and it's completely anonymous with I believe it's a $50,000 reward on Crime Stoppers, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. And then I think it's 50,000. But don't hold me to that. But I think there's definitely a reward through Crime Stoppers. Just discuss that with Detective Lawton. So,
yeah, I'm not finding anything at the moment, but
yeah.
All right.
It does state on their website they do offer reward. We just want to find Tina. We want to find Tina.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so sorry for everything you and your family are going through. And I mean, I can't imagine 34 years not having answers. I mean, it'd be bad enough if you at least brought her home. There'd be some sort of closure, and I hate that closure thing. But at least it'd be knowledge of what happened to her. But just not knowing, yes. I can't imagine. You guys, bless you all for dealing with this. And let us know if there's anything we can do in the future, or if any updates happen. Please reach out to us so we can share and cover those as well.
Okay,
and,
sure.
I want to share that. Oh, you got that link still on there. It didn't go too far. Yeah, so we still got that link for the OklahomaColdCases.org. Yes. Like you said, if you need anything else, just let us know. And thanks everyone for watching. Do you have anything else you wanted to say before we get done?
Just please do the right thing. And remember, anonymity is guaranteed with the Crime Stoppers. Yeah. Do the right thing. Bring our family the miracle that we've been praying for. Tina's such a good-hearted person. She never got a chance to live and have any children. She never got a chance to do anything. She just started to really be able to smile and live. And that day, someone took her smile away, and they took mine too. They need to do the right thing. It's never too late. And that's why I volunteer with other search organizations and do all that I can do. And it's an ambiguous loss. You don't know whether to grieve or not. I've never truly felt in my heart, and it sounds crazy that at almost 35 years that Tina is deceased, because I'm stuck in that frozen sense of grief.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the right thing.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. And I will say, oops, how come that didn't go up? Let me add this up. So Saturday night, we're going to be live again. It's the case of Aiden Victoria Spear, the last goodbye with her mother, Jessica Brown. This is another strange story, a lot like, Tina's story. She's there 1 minute, she's gone the next. So please join us Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And Laurie, thank you so much for joining us. I know it was hard, but absolutely important message for you to get this out. So thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing awareness.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Again, reach out anytime if you need anything that we can help with.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna hit the
5-year-old Taylor Williams led investigators to Alabama this week. So we have some breaking news from Florida. An arrest has been made in connection.
After years of agony, a glimmer of hope for the family.
Investigators spent hours searching through this house off Pennsylvania Avenue.
What could be a major development in the search for missing Alabama teenager.
Tonight, a stunning twist in the search for Taylor.
Somebody out there knows something.
They want to lay him to rest their way, not by somebody else's way.